that is what excites me now, is like, what is that next outreach opportunity for the church that we need to leap on, you know?
For sure. And I think like people who are in tech field, who have been in it for a while, I think there's certain intimidation where like, wow, look at these two guys that got like HD cameras and cinema grade cameras and they're live streaming and blah, 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 blah. And I have my shaky iPhone with my daughter's Mickey Mouse earphones and trying to make my voice not sound like Chewbacca because my computer's fan is too loud. And, I'm getting like 10 frames per second after my video took to 98%. It crashed 3 times in Premiere to, whatever. All that to say is that, to me, what's important in this time is that wherever your audience at, wherever people are at that are listening to this, just know that this is your broken and spilled out alabaster jar at the feet of Jesus, and the perfume that you poured out there is beautiful because he sees you, man. He sees what you're doing, and whether your footage is choppy or whether whatever, you're doing it unto the Lord, man. And just know that that it's not in vain, and you matter, and the tireless hours, it's one thing for this to happen, the pandemic to happen and us all be secluded. It's another thing for it to happen like in Easter season where, you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off anyways. And, it's just like the perfect convergence and storm, you know what I mean? Like, anyways, but all that to say is that he sees you and he sees what you're doing, and I pray and I hope that, the tips that John has on his podcast will get you up to speed to be able to do what you do with, to be able to feel equipped and confident to produce stuff for your church. But know that wherever you are in the process, it's beautiful and the Lord sees it, and it is your act of worship.
And I couldn't agree with you more on that. And I think it's funny. I can say that at least for the past couple of years in this season of mine, I've been pretty, I attended a church, help at a church, but in terms of seeing the internal workings of it, it's kind of been more distant. And jumping in, when all these things came in and going in 100%, I think that feeling of like the alabaster jar moment is so critical for so many people who are serving at the church, both, and I'm talking from on the top all the way to the bottom. I know, on the top, they're just like, we've got to keep this ship moving. We've got to make sure to pull our troops together. Things, like the pieces of the ship are falling apart, like let's pull them back on. And then the people who are down there are just like, in the trenches, digital trenches of Premiere and of Final Cut and of all these technologies, and like Facebook's not letting us go online, or YouTube's not letting us go online, and I think that it's kind of been a thing that I've felt. It's just, I want teams to feel like appreciated, but I think, I talked with somebody today that just kind of encouraged me that they were, they knew that this was a special moment for them, but they also knew that they were like, burning the candle from both ends, trying to make this massive play for the church as they're transitioning. But I think, I definitely agree. Like, I think for all the people who are making in the church, like, this is the one place, again, that's creating new content and is creating community. And I, again, I'm grateful too for, just getting to, have some time with you as well, Alex, to just kind of hear your views on it. Cause I know, like, of all the people who hear a lot of what's going on in a lot of churches, you're one of those guys who's like, I even remember just being a part of one of your smaller meetings and hearing just all the perspectives that these pastors, are going through. And, it's, again, you're that calming voice trying to bring in people to help push a thing forward. And so I've always, like I said, appreciated that operations mindset that you have. And I appreciate you coming on here as well. And obviously, for those of you guys who are watching this, whether now or you're watching it, because gosh darn it, it's, almost 9:30 Central. We got kids, we got babies going on here that we got to get to, not to keep them up. But, I want to, make sure that, you guys also check out his podcast. There's a lot of great resources, that you've brought in. You've been pulling in a lot of people. Honestly, I remember you had mentioned, I think it was two weekends ago, you brought in someone from a TikTok influencer who had exploded. I know we sent a text message yesterday, some other ones that we had found, and I think
he's small potatoes compared to that guy, but anyway.
Yeah, no, and it's funny. It's like these are the next, again, what are our outreaches? And it's I think that is again, where I just see it, we need to be listening to what others are doing. We need to be talking and sharing, and not, again, closing ourselves off to new ideas. Right now is the time to do whatever we can to, again, see the gospel accelerate. And, I'm really appreciative for all the stuff that you're doing, and definitely, hoping for, just waiting to hear some amazing stories to get written out of all the things that we're doing these days.
Amen. Yeah, I'm thankful that a long way, John, from being back to back in a little mailroom, huh?
Yeah, man. It's incredible to think that
all y'all NXTers know what we're talking about. So
yeah, any NXTers who are on here, my goodness, that's where it all began, was in literally humble beginnings. God doesn't take those in massive executive buildings. He takes those who are willing in mail rooms who, that desk was not built for two.
Don't forsake your humble beginnings. I think I read that in a book somewhere from something, Yeah, thanks, John. I appreciate being a part of your thing, and I'm praying for whatever the Lord has for you, and wherever you are, in your church, and whoever's listening in your church, just know that you're loved, you are seen, and you are not alone. And I'm just grateful to be a small part of what the Lord is doing through John in this live stream church.
Well, likewise, thank you so much, Alex, for being on here. And again, check out his podcast here. I'm going to put that up there one more time. It's just Winging It, the podcast. We'll be posting up some stuff as well onto our page here, but check him out. Definitely been a blessing. Alex, as always, it's a pleasure. We will talk with you, man. Get some sleep. He is on the East Coast side, man. Just, South Carolina doesn't give you much grace when it comes to time, but blessings to you, man, as well as to your family, and we will we'll catch you again, man. Thanks for joining us.
Bless you.
Feeling a change coming. I'm feeling a change coming. Right here, I'm feeling a change. I'm feeling a change all around me. No doubt, I'm feeling a change. I'm feeling a change running down me.